Hello everyone, I hope you all are fine and are doing well. We have completed the 8th chapter, that is linear equations. Let's have a quick recap of the chapter with the help of a mind map. So this is the mind map of the chapter linear equations. We started the chapter by learning about the term equation. We learned that an equation shows the equality between the variables and the given numbers. We learned that in an equation there are two parts, the left hand side which is known as the LHS and the right hand side which is known as the RHS. So the LHS will always be equal to the RHS. Next we learned about linear equations. Now linear means 1. So in an equation where the highest power of the variable is 1 is known as a linear equation. So here we have two examples. 2x plus y equals to 4. So here the power of x and y is 1. When nothing is mentioned, we assume that it is 1. The second example is 9z plus 12 is equal to 5y. Here also the power of z and y is 1. So these two are linear equations. Next we learned about linear equation in one variable. So a linear equation where only one variable is mentioned is known as linear equation in one variable. For example, 2 plus x is equal to 5. So the only variable present over here is x. Next we have 4a plus 17 is equal to 20. So one variable which is present is a and the power of a is 1. So it is a linear equation and linear equation in one variable. The next topic that we learned was how to translate statements into linear equation. So here we have an example. The statement is twice of a number increased by 12 gives 24. So let's convert this statement into an equation. So first we will assume the number as any variable of your choice. So let's take the number as x. Now the first part of the statement says twice of a number. Now twice means 2 times of a number. That means it will be 2x. Now let's read the statement further. Twice of a number increased by 12. Now increased means it has been added. So your next step will be 2x plus 12. Now the last part of the statement says twice of a number increased by 12 gives 24. That means once you have done the first part, that is 2x plus 12, your answer will be 24. So like this we convert statements into linear equations. We learned about linear equations. Now further in the chapter we learned 3 methods to solve these equations. We learned how to find the solution of the equation, which is also known as root of the equation. Now the 3 methods that we learned were trial and error method, method of balancing, or which is also known as balancing method, and the last method that we learned was method of transposing. Now what we do in trial and error method? In trial and error method we keep on substituting the value of the variable till the time you get the equation LHS equal to RHS. In the method of balancing, we focus on the operations. Like if you are doing an operation on one side of the equation, you will perform the same operation on the other side of the equation. So if you are adding a number or a variable to the LHS, you will do the same operation on the RHS as well. The last method was method of transposing. Now in the method of transposing, we transpose or we transport or shift the number or variable from one side of the equation to the other side of the equation. Now when you are transposing your numbers or variables from one side to the other side, the operation changes. Addition changes to subtraction, subtraction changes to addition, multiplication changes into division, and division into multiplication. Now let's look at the examples for each method. Now let's look at few examples and let's solve these equations using all the 3 methods of linear equation, or how to solve a linear equation. So here we have a first question, that is 2 2y upon 3 is equal to 2. Now let's solve this equation and find the solution of the equation using trial and error method. Now in trial and error method, we keep on substituting the value of the variable till we get the LHS equal to the RHS. So first let's substitute the value of y as 1. So we will write y is equal to 1. So now let's substitute the value of y as 1. Now here you can see 2 and y are getting multiplied with each other. So it will be 2 into 1 upon 3. Now we know that 2 upon 3 is not equal to the RHS. So that means y equals to 1 is not the solution of the given equation. Now let's substitute the value of y as 2. So y is equal to 2. Let's substitute the value in the LHS. So 2 into 2 upon 3. So 2 into 2 is 4. So 4 upon 3 is not equal to the RHS, that is 2. So that means again y equals to 2 is not the solution. Now let's substitute the value of y as 3. So 2 into 3 upon 3, that is 2 into 3 is 6. So 6 upon 3. So when you cancel it, you get 2, which is equal to the RHS. So when y is equal to 3, the LHS is equal to RHS. So the root of the equation is y equals to 3. Now let's solve the second equation, that is 4 plus k minus 7 is equal to 2. Now let's solve this equation using the balancing method. Now we learn in the balancing method, if you are performing an operation on the LHS or RHS, you will perform the same operation on the LHS or RHS. So here we have the equation 4 plus k minus 7 equals to 2. So let's try to eliminate minus 7 from the LHS. So now opposite of minus 7 is plus 7. So we will add 7 to both sides of the equation. So add 7 to both sides. So it will be 4 plus k minus 7. Now we will do plus 7 equals to, now if you are adding on the LHS, you will also perform the same operation on the RHS. So 2 plus 7. Let's solve it. 4 plus k. Now minus 7 and plus 7 are the additive inverse of each other. This you learned in integers. So when additive inverse are added, we get the answer 0. So 4 plus k is equal to, now 2 plus 7 is 9. Now let's try to eliminate 4 because we need to keep k individually on one side of the equation. So now we will do subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. So 4 minus 4 plus k equals to, now if we are doing minus 4 on LHS, we will do minus 4 on the RHS as well. So 9 minus 4. Now again plus 4 and minus 4 are additive inverse. So that means the answer will be 0. So we are left with k equals to 9 minus 4 is 5. So the solution for this equation is 5. Value of the variable k is 5. Now let's talk about the last method, that is method of transposing. So here we have an equation 3x minus 7 is equal to 14. Now in the transposing method, we transpose the variables or the numbers from one side of the equation to the other side. And when you are transposing them, you also change the operation sign. So let's solve this question. So we have 3x minus 7 is equal to 14. So first let's transpose minus 7 from LHS to the RHS. So when you are transposing minus 7 to the RHS, so 3x equals to 14. Now minus 7 will become plus 7. Why? Because when you are transposing a negative sign, a subtraction sign from the LHS to the RHS, it gets converted into plus sign. So we have 3x equals to 14 plus 7. So let's solve it. 3x equals to 21. Now we have 3 into x. 3 and x are getting multiplied to each other. So let's transpose 3 from LHS to the RHS. Now when you're transposing the multiplication sign to the other side, it gets converted to division. So you will have x equals to 21 upon 3, that is 21 divided by 3. So let's solve it. X equals to, now 3 and 21, let's cancel it, we will get the answer 7. So the solution for this equation is x equals to 7. So students, these are the 3 methods that you can use to solve an equation. Now when you look at trial and error method, it consumes a lot of time. So it is always suggested, when it is not particularly mentioned in the question what method to be used, always try to follow either the method of balancing or the transposing method. So students, I hope you have understood the chapter and the concepts of linear equations. Practice the questions in the textbooks. I will see you in the next interactive session. Thank you and have a nice day.